Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Organizing and conducting a false flag operation is one of the nastiest businesses. And that is one of the reasons is that you don't know who actually did it, or at least you don't know it for a while. And the problem is the people caught in between, they would be the victims that simply have no guilt of their own being caught in between. And when a false flag operation is conducted, you will have everybody pointing the fingers at everybody. Therefore, you don't know who the hell did it. The only thing that you can guess, which is again, it's a guess, is, oh, you're the bad dude, these guys are the good dudes. The good dudes would not do such a thing. Ha, ha, ha. If you believe that, well, you got to change that. Let's put it nicely. And after a while, the reality is going to show, and they will say, yes, I did it, but I had to do it because of that or that or that. There's many examples when good countries did it, and then we found out after, I don't know, years and years. And Vietnam is a good example if you want to look at it. I'm just going to use that one, but not only. In Syria were some claims of this and that. The problem is people on whom this operation is conducted on, they are the little victims over there. So let's see what's going on over here. These guys are claiming, these guys being the Russians, are claiming that U.S. is preparing a false flag chemical attack in Ukraine, or attacks, plural. And Moscow says, this comes from Russia Today. So this is according to the Russians. I don't know, you know what I mean? If even if something happens, let's say, and then Moscow says, see, we told you. Well, it was you all the way, you know what I mean? You don't know that. And besides, history is written by the victors. So if, let's say, somehow, let's say, I don't see how Russia could win this war, just achieving its goals, the 4 goals that they said they want to achieve. Let's say they achieve that, and it's not like they won and they're going to write the global history like we have in the Second World War. We have one history. Everything else goes, oh my God, no, that can't be that one. Why? Because some people won, some people lost, clearly. Here, unless Russia is just going to disintegrate, going to collapse, then their history will be written by the victors, which is the United States, and that's it. The rest are not going to be involved. The rest are just weasels, they're just bottom feeders. So then the Russians will find out that they conducted this false flag chemical operation, and it was not anybody else, even though, let's say, it was somebody else. Why? For the reason I just mentioned. The victor writes history, the history. And other details are unacceptable. So the Americans believe a provocation won't be properly investigated due to the fighting Russian military alleges. Remember, everything that the Russians are claiming here could be claimed by the other side, okay? It's not only that the Americans believe a provocation won't be properly investigated. The same the Russians think. The Americans, if the Russians going to conduct a false flag chemical operation, they do it because won't be properly investigated due to the fighting. The U.S., but I like these words. Alleges, okay, it's not like it is as it is. This preparing, this is a statement. So it's like we already know. Well, I would like to know, what do you know? Tell us a little bit more. The U.S. is preparing to stage false flag chemical attacks, plural, in Ukraine to pin the blame on Moscow to the use of banned toxic agents. The chief of Russian nuclear, biological, and chemical defense troops, Igor Kirillov, has said. The same the Ukrainians can say. Anyway, I'm just trying to find what is the evidence, which I'm pretty sure they will not going to provide anything. Just believe me, my intelligence agencies said so. And I believe those, the Americans believe that the international community wouldn't be able to organize an effective investigation of such provocations, end quote, due to the fighting between Russian and Ukrainian forces, which would allow Washington to escape responsibility, Kirillov said during a briefing on Tuesday. That's logical, but that can apply to you as well. But you consider yourself the good ones, as the Americans consider themselves the good ones. And none of them are the good ones. They are good and bad in each entity. It's just a proportion. Russia's defense ministry has obtained information that a train with a cargo of chemical substances in one of its cars had apparently arrived in the Ukrainian-controlled city of Kramatorsk in Donbas on February 10th. The commander said, all right, let's see where that Kramatorsk is. All right, I use this Russian map. That's from the 28th of February 2023. And Kramatorsk is by Bakhmut. Bakhmut, the Russians call it Artemovsk, is right here. And Kramatorsk is right here. So, Kramatorsk is this. You see this little thing here? This is concerning for the Ukrainians big time. In Kramatorsk, the Russians already almost encircled it. The Ukrainians are losing here. That's clear. They either get out if they can, even though the Russians claim that, I think it was also the American newspaper that said, I can't remember, I made a video on it yesterday, where they said that all the exits and entries in Bakhmut, Artemovsk, are controlled by Russian shelling. Anyway, they can still go out, but probably bombarded a little bit. And here in Kramatorsk, if these guys lose here, the road to Kramatorsk is open. So the Russians said that the Ukrainians brought in Kramatorsk these chemical weapons. They're gonna stage something here, and all of a sudden something else happens. The Ukrainians said they will bring in reinforcement troops for Bakhmut here or Artemovsk. But I don't know if that's the case. I think the thing is already done. I read another article where they said, the Ukrainians said that this is kind of like, we should get out, too late, no, yes. So anyway, let's go back to this article. So, city of Kramatorsk in Donbas on February 10th. Wow, February 10th right now is what? March 1st. So that means this train is not with the reinforcement, as I thought. The 16 metal boxes with special markings that suggest they contained BZ, 3-quinaclidinyl benzylate, incapacitating agent, as well as CS, chlorobenzylidene-monotirinyle, Jesus Christ, and CR, dibenzoxazepine, harassing riot control agents. Were accompanied by the citizens of foreign nations. Ooh, who are those? The volunteers again? According to Kirillov, the chemicals were unloaded at a local metallurgical plant under the supervision of Ukraine's Security Services SBU and put on US-supplied armored vehicles that later moved out towards a contact as part of a convoy. If you have so much information, how come you couldn't blow it up? We don't want to blow it up because you're going to release the chemicals. Is that what it is? Russia also established that 11 cars with especially marked shrapnel ammunition were unloaded in Kramatorsk on February 19th. The commander said the shells of this type have been previously upgraded in the US to be able to deliver harassing chemical substances, he says. NATO has also planned a large delivery of means of chemical production to Ukraine, including hundreds of antidotes for various toxic substances, Kirillov is also alleging. I like that they keep it here, okay? Allegation is someone said something, it's not proven. It's, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's not even an accusation. And I'm quoting, the fact of simultaneous delivery of toxic chemicals and means of production against them indicate an attempt to carry out large-scale provocations, including the BS military-grade psychoactive chemical agent during the conflict, end quote, he said. Despite announcing the depletion of all of its stocks of BZ back in 1990, the US has preserved samples of the toxic agent, which causes acute psychosis, disorientation, hallucination, and memory impairment. Washington maintains the capability to produce the substance in significant quantities, the commander claimed. I like that one, you see, alleged and then claimed. If a provocation using chemical weapons is carried out in Donbas, and I'm quoting that true, culprits will be identified and held accountable, end quote, Kirillov warned. Russian forces in the area have all the means to promptly detect the use of toxic agents and to contain such incidents. He assured Tuesday's briefing, adding that they can identify not just the substance being deployed, but also the country where it was produced. All right, if you say so. So, chemical warfare is forbidden under the Chemical Weapons Convention CWC of 1997, to which the US, Ukraine, and Russia are all signatories. The document bans their military from even using riot control agents or tear gas, despite them being allowed in law enforcement. So this is it. We'll find out if here in Kramatorsk we're gonna have any problems. On the map is right here in Donbas, right there. So as I said, you always have the psychological upper hand when you claim first something, even if you are about to do it or you did it. So when you come and say, no, he invaded my house, at first you go investigate that, and then you come, if you find out certain things, then you come and say, wait a minute, maybe we should investigate you as a suspect as well, not only as a reporting source or as a alleged victim. So that's why it's always when you hear in America, in the States of America, when they have the elections and you have a news station, let's say CNN, says the projected winners for Ohio is Tom Jones. If another news outlet comes and say, actually the projected winner or the winner of the Ohio, the state of Ohio, is, I don't know, Elvis Presley. Now which one is it? The first who said it first have the, oh no, how did you get this one? Psychologically, the second comer is the one that is concerning, or has to prove that the first one is wrong, not the first one. That's why I don't really understand here in the United States when they come and call it. I read certain articles and certain pieces of information where they say, well, the other ones were about to call it the other way. What do you mean? Well, because it's so close and so on. Anyway, I think they want the system to be functional, and then they say, well, if you say otherwise, that means someone is lying, the system is not working. They're bigger fish to fry than the little, So in this case, could be both, could be some others. Obviously, not only the US can plan that. The Russians claim is the Americans. We'll find out. I hope that nobody will do anything like this, because once this thing gets out of the box, you can put it back, and from then on it will be an escalating trend. Because believe me, if let's say, I'm just giving a scenario, these guys are using it as the Russians are saying, what do you think the Russians will do? Will point their fingers left and right and so on, and then they might use it. They might feel entitled that they can use it, and why not, they would say. And together they climb. Well, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.